Hey there, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm actually doing a video, a VR, for Barry for cerebral palsy awareness. And, cerebral palsy, it's a group of neurological disorders that affect muscular movement, motion, function. It can affect anything related to muscular and neurological. It's tied, which involves many of our body's functions, even the most basic of functions. And I'll go into some more detail later, even with some things that can help at a nutritional level. But yeah, it's a great cause. I'm really glad that Barry is doing this, and I really hope that we get a good response, that he gets a good response. Make sure I'll have Barry's link in the description in case you are not following him. And yeah, he goes into detail actually in one of his most recent videos where he talks about this particular VR, how to participate, what to do. It's very easy, doesn't take that much time. And you do what you feel is right. Go at your own pace. Do an easy little video if you so wish. Looking at this little bee here, doing his thing. But green is the theme. And what do you like that is green? There are many things that I like that are green. Trees, forest, plants, foliage is always the first thing that comes to mind. But green is one of my favorite colors. I love forest green. I love Christmas green, like those green Christmas ornaments that have that nice sheen to them. So I thought today I would take you guys on a little tour. I know I've been here before once on a little walkthrough of this area, which actually, as kids, we used to call Green Lake. And the reason why we called it Green Lake was, well, obviously it's not a lake. As a little kid, though, your imagination would run wild, and yeah, we loved the thought of it being this mystery lake. And funny enough, not too far from this pond is another body of water known as Crystal Lake, reminiscent of the Friday the 13th horror series. And actually, I see something in the water down there. We're going to check down there to see if we have Mr. Alligator. I don't know, but I can spot him usually pretty far out. We're going to see, because alligators are green. But it could be a trick on the eyes. Could be something else entirely. And I'm going to try not to be too loud. Might just be the ripples with the currents. So we'll just have to find out. But yeah, it's about to rain any moment out here. And this whole week is going to be rainy. So if I didn't do this today, it's very possible I may not get the chance. Try to zoom in from where I am right here. You see that little discrepancy in the water? We're going to see if that's a little alligator. It certainly looks like an alligator. I can see the shape of the eyes. Still, oh, he just went underwater. We'll give him a few seconds. He might come back up. But yeah, I love this area. I love the water. We have ducks that visit, also geese. But that was definitely an alligator, folks. He'll be back. He knows I'm here. And from underneath the water, he's just kind of having a look-see to make sure that it's okay for him to get back up to the surface. Many, many, many fond memories as a kid here in Green Lake. And later, what I'm going to do is actually just head back to my card studio, if you will, and show some more green in the form of trading cards. I know Barry did that with some really cool trading cards. So an egret. Might be a cormorant, actually. Making a landing way out there. But yeah, we're going to take a walk around and see. It is an egret, way on the other side. Probably looking for some egret victuals. We'll take a look at some of the white flora that's on the other side of the pond. But yeah, in the heat of the summer, and as it gets further into spring, there's a whole medley of activity. The reptiles all come out, of course. The gators, the snakes, the turtles. And you do have to be careful. What do we have up ahead? It looks like maybe a Mr. Squirrel or a Mrs. Squirrel. He knows it's about to rain. He knows it's coming. So he's going to forage. He sees me. He's like, yeah. I don't want to be on camera. It's all right, bud. No worries. Got the lilies out there in the water. I'm curious if any of you guys and girls have any areas where you are that have either like a pond or a trail, a backyard, a garden. I can think of Barry, for example. God is Great. God is Great is an awesome garden. out in Japan, for those who may not know. And yeah, everything's starting to bloom. I would have liked to have gotten a nice full picture for you guys of that alligator, but there'll be plenty of time for that. Yeah, we used to come out here as kids and there were a lot more trees. All of this area that you see here, you know, at one time, there were trees galore. And it's still not bad, but a great many of the trees have been removed. Or they fell into the pond. You know, as time goes on with bodies of water, you have land erosion. Even with a smaller body of water like this, nature just takes its course. And the trees fall. This area right here, when summer comes, it is loaded with turtles. You see a whole army of turtles lined up. And all these, speaking of turtle, one just ducked into the water. But yeah, they'll line all up on the logs. It's like a congregation of turtles. There's a little boat there for anybody who wants to kind of go out on the pond, maybe for a little fishing. There are some bass and some other little fish that you can catch. Yeah, on the end there, I'll be able to show you guys some of the white flora up close. There's some with the lilies. And they last through summer. I remember as a kid, there's so many stories I could share about this particular pond, aka Green Lake, which I do find interesting in light of this VR for Barry, because he wanted something green represented. And I thought to myself, boy, if I could have had a smartphone back in the mid-'80s, when I first moved to this area, you would see literally a green pond, a green lake. It was covered with green foliage, algae, and the like. And man, the smell, you definitely felt like you were in a swamp, which we are in Louisiana, and yeah, this is swampland, wetland. Rain hasn't hit yet. It's supposed to be raining all week. And originally I wanted to come out here when it was nice and sunny. But it is what it is. And the green is still green. Some little yellow flowers. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. I love all of the green, and when the variety of colors from the plants grow, it just adds, it becomes this collage of beauty that really can't be replicated. Whether it be in man-made art or essentially synthetic art, if you want to call it that. Robotic art. Nothing beats the real thing. And I appreciate you guys taking a stroll with me. I know this isn't exactly a thrilling, exciting, riveting episode, but look at that there. Let's see if I can get him. He's by the tree line. Bird. Look like a hawk. You can't really see him very well. Okay, where are we going? Right above the tree line. Back up. There we go, guys. Sorry about that. Finding a new roost, perhaps? Yeah, the wildlife is everywhere, and kind of as as predicted, it's a bit quiet. I was kind of surprised to see the alligator, or a alligator, out there today, and it was a small one. But they're probably just starting to come out, so they're a bit skittish. At least the younger ones. But after some time, they start to get a little more brave. And that's when you have to be a little more careful, especially with small pets and things of that sort. But I was hoping to get a green alligator on there. Didn't quite work out. Not this time. Looks like Mr. Egret is still out there, probably looking for some bugs. Yeah, he's very intent. He's going to be quite unhappy the closer that I get, but it's okay. He'll be fine. Probably just move to the other side of the pond. Sight back this way. Back it up. There we go. Yeah. Woods galore. These shells weren't always here. It used to be just solid dirt. And man, we used to have so many adventures. And I remember one of my friends, Greg, he had a three-wheeler, and I was riding in the back. And yeah, this is back when the lake was green, filled with all of the aforementioned greenery. And he took a turn a little too sharp. And man, he went crashing. We went crashing straight into the pond. Thank God I was able to jump off right before we went in. There he goes. And he'll be happy right there. It's like, it's fine, pal. You want that side? I'll take this side. I got wings. Must be nice. But yeah, I just wanted to do this video. You know, it's probably going to end up being, by the time I'm done, it's already at the 20-minute mark. It'll be a fairly lengthy video. I just wanted to take my time with it. It's for a good cause. And I know in my work history, I used to have people of all ages and all walks of life who I had the opportunity to help as best that I could, of course, with the recommendations of different nutritional supplementation, dietary intake, and I do miss that part of it. I miss being able to help people from that side, and with just about every ailment you can possibly think of, some more serious than others. And you know, there's science, there's medicine, and then there's also what God has provided for us in nature's medicine. And my mindset is, whatever the ailment is, whatever works and takes care of the problem, as long as it's ethical, by all means, utilize it. And in many situations, it's a combination of the natural, which I always try to go natural as best as I possibly can. But sometimes, you know, depending upon what the condition is, we need help also from pharmaceuticals. And I'm not promoting pharmaceuticals by any means. However, we need to do better in our healthcare system. We need to prioritize the well-being of the individual over the almighty dollar. And I'm not going to get political or anything like that, but just saying, there's my thoughts there. The well-being of the individual and our fellow man is priority. That's the most important thing. And gosh, there's so many, talking about greens, there's so many greens out there that are beneficial. You know, off the top of my head, I think about spirulina, also known as blue-green algae. But it's a whole food. And a lot of times, you know, you think of greens and you're thinking, well, carbohydrates, not in a sense of simple carbs like breads or starches, but more like fibrous carbohydrates. Basketball in the water, it's great. I have to get that out. But yeah, spirulina is comprised of many nutrients, including amino acids. And amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So you get the green carbs, if you will, as fibrous carbohydrates. Spirulina, for example, doesn't have a whole lot in the way of caloric value, unlike, say, a basic carb, a bread. 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. Same with protein, 4 calories, and then fat, 9. Fat being the most caloric dense of those nutrients. Yeah, and spirulina, it has enzymes which are required for all types of bodily functions. The enzymes do all kinds of things that we don't know about, but they keep us going, from digesting your foods to the metabolism of different vitamins, minerals, nutrients. It's a whole synergistic complex that takes place whenever you take in even the most basic food. And the enzymes are necessary to help break that stuff down so that it can be sent to where it needs to go. You also have what they call phytonutrients, which are plant-based nutrients. And, in some cases, like for example, you'll hear about grapes. Grapes are good for you. Wine is good for you. Well, why is that? You have things called bioflavonoids, proanthocyanidins. Could go on and on. But we're going to try and focus on the greens. So I'll get back to talking about some other greens soon, specifically greens that can help those who suffer from cerebral palsy, which is what this video is to be about. It's not just the green, but I thought to myself, since we are talking about green, why don't we talk about something green or some things green that perhaps can be of benefit to those who suffer from cerebral palsy. And at any given point in time, so there were 1 million Americans who were affected by cerebral palsy on any given day. And it really affects drastically, in many cases, quality of life. But I'm going to be wrapping this greenery up soon. Sounds like maybe some squirrel rambunctious shenanigans going on in there. And then I'll continue later. Not too long, because I know this video is long enough. But showing some more greenery. Oh, look back there. Well, something rippled in the water. Could be little fish. But all that yellow growing back there. Yeah, the mosquitoes are something horrific right now, so I'm going to start heading back while I'm still in one piece and before the rain falls. Oh, bunny rabbit. Bunny rabbit. Unfortunately, I don't think I was able to get him on camera. I knew I heard somebody messing around back there. There's a little rabbit. Little swamp hare. There he goes. See if I can get him. He's looking at me. In this little hovel. Not going to be able to see him from there, unfortunately, but might catch him on the other end. If I do, I'll show it to you guys. I'll be back soon. Little blue dragonfly. I love dragonflies. They eat mosquitoes, which I'm a big fan of. We used to catch them. Got to catch their wings just right, so as not to hurt them. And they get pretty big. I'm gonna leave you alone, bud. You got plenty of mosquitoes here, so feast away. Just showing you guys some random foliage as I come across it on my way back. Really interesting types of plant life. I wanted to show this sign as I was on my way back because in Barry's video, he had a frog, picture of a frog. So saw this, it's a sign, and definitely needs some cleaning. But it talks about hazards, things like fertilizer, pesticide, animal wastes, soil or sediment, soaps, paints, motor oil, gasoline, transmission fluid. And Froggy says, "Ugh, as you can see, stormwater pollutants are really mean. That is why we should make a big deal about keeping our water environment clean." Thank you, Mr. Green. I appreciate that. These are some of the plants that exist out here. Identify these plants. Spider lily, broadleaf cattail, dwarf palmetto, daylily, wood fern, horsetail, Louisiana iris. You know, horsetail is interesting because horsetail root is actually a source of silica. And silica is a compound of connective tissue, great for hair, skin, and nails, strength and integrity, joint health. See what these little signs say, if anything interesting. Not really. Let's see, who lives here? Can you find these feathered friends? Little bird there. Mockingbird. Double-crested cormorant. See those all the time. Blue jays. Downy woodpeckers. Carolina chickadee. Red-belly woodpecker. Red-headed woodpecker. Belted kingfisher. And I've seen all those guys. Squirrels, muskrats, water moccasins, yeah, plenty of those. Swamp rabbits, possums, and of course, box turtles. Not to mention raccoons.